People will ask you, where were you during 9/11? Where were you when Elon Musk sent a man to Mars? Where were you when Donald Trump boxed Kim Jong-un? These are things that we think about throughout our lives. As days go by, we recognize growth and change, what events define us as individuals and as a society. Up until this point in time, there were many events that devastated us, amazed us, and changed us. But now, we can say that nothing before has quite shaped the world like this. It was September 1st, 2020, the first and last day Joe Rogan would be on Spotify. Everyone thought that the first guest had to be someone special, for this was a monumental event for the podcasting community. Would it be the president? Kanye West? Tupac's hologram? The expectation was high, but no one could expect what was to come. Just a month prior to the event, Joe Rogan announced that he would be hosting a raffle for the first guest, and that anyone had the potential to be on the show. The catch being that it would cost $5,000 per entry. The money would all go towards Neuralink. Though this was anyone's game, most average people didn't have this kind of money, and so most of the entries were by larger-than-life people. There was no limit to how many entries you could have, so even if you were an ordinary person with $5,000, the likelihood of you actually winning was slim, especially when compared to a person like Joey Diaz, who had submitted over 53 entries. But alas, the unthinkable happened. A normal fan won.
Hey man, welcome to the podcast. Happy to have you on, man. And congratulations on the win. Like, I was expecting Elon Musk to buy me out, but you really got on here, man.
Yeah.
Happy to have you on. So, let's just hop right back into it. What are you into, man?
I like listening to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, right.
There was tension in the air. The awkwardness was on another level, more than what anyone could have expected. After about 30 minutes of Joe trying his best to make his guests feel somewhat comfortable and his show as entertaining as possible, he offered him a little bit of kush, a sativa strain to be specific, and some on it to help lighten his mood. This worked surprisingly well, and the guest was able to warm up a bit. Opening up about his daily life and personal struggles, Joe was faced with a topic he had never faced before.
Whoa! You're actually into that hentai stuff?
The guest would go on to describe how hentai is not a stupid gimmick, but is actually an enlightened form of art from the anime community. Amused by the idea of grown men enjoying fictionalized characters having unrealistic erotic fantasies, Joe continues to listen to his guest's fascination with this bizarre art. The young man would go on to educate Joe on the importance of friendship and anti-fascism represented in one piece. How men can be filled with resolve and courage while expressing flamboyance in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And how mankind will forever struggle with insecurities and loneliness in Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Neon Genesis Evangelion? Jamie, pull that up.
Joe started to realize that everything that he could have ever wanted was in anime. Friendship, love, comedy, and titties. He began to break down in tears while his guest opened his arms to a new friend in need. Was this Joe's podcast, or was it the guest? No one knew anymore. All that mattered was love. Though being the happiest moment of Joe's life, his actions that soon followed would leave the world devastated. The next day, Joe Rogan announced that he was leaving everything behind. The podcast, his family, comedy, and even his dog Marshall, all in the pursuit of happiness. He moved to Japan to study anime and would soon work with companion Elon Musk to bring anime girls to life. Neuralink was dropped entirely, for Elon now believed that the key to world peace was being able to have a real waifu. 50% of American men moved to Japan to follow the Rogan path. 25% became depressed and lost all meaning to life. There were now millions of homes without fathers, businesses without workers, and a country without men. Japan's fertility rate did increase, but at the cost of a staggering male population growth and a paper shortage from increased manga sales. Manga writers couldn't keep up with the millions of baby Joe Rogans needing to feed on their read, causing anime culture to cease existence entirely. One Piece was never finished. JoJo couldn't get more bizarre than the state the world was already in. And Shinji wannabes just came everywhere. The world was damaged. As for the guest that was on his show, some believed that he was a messenger of God. Others believed he was the devil. He received many death threats, especially from Joey Diaz, who felt like his friend was corrupted.
Fuck you and fucking Facebook. Fuck you and social media. It's all about you, you dumb motherfucker.
After being the main headline for many months, the man would disappear into obscurity. There were many lingering conspiracies that surrounded this man's existence. Whatever portion of men that didn't follow the Rogan path sought answers and went down a rabbit hole trying to solve the equation behind the man that the mess was created. Some call this the end of times. Some call this the darkest hour. We call it a tragedy. But there's no denying that the world has had a taste of the Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah.